Oh yeah.
All right, we are recording
So
now,
this
though.
one time in band camp.
You're listening to the Unemployed Bartender Podcast with your host, Keith Carter.
They've already clicked off of the show.
You know, I haven't listened to many podcasts.
This is riveting for your listeners. You do realize this, right?
Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
Do you put like little outtakes in the intro of your podcast?
All of this can be cut out because I'll pretty much just a podcast. New episodes every Friday. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the UB Podcast. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Unemployed Bartender Podcast. I'm really excited. Joined this week by Mr. Fazon Gray, internationally renowned model and just all-around good guy. Welcome to the show, bub.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Quite a pleasure. Took some time to get scheduled around all the stuff you got going on. And I'm glad I was finally able to get you in here. So
I'm glad to be here, man. I apologize for that.
It's all good. You know, that's the best thing that I could ever push an episode or take some, you know, if it takes time to get somebody on, it's because they're busy and doing things in the world, and that's all the better for it. So I think congrats,
or
by
just,
the way.
You know, trying to pay rent in New York.
Yeah, man, you gotta stay grind. It doesn't care about coronavirus.
Nah.
I was like, what do you got for me, though? You got that money?
I mean, you know, the hustle's been real, man. Today, just like running around the city. You know, I'm working on a music video I'm going to be in with, you know, a freelance artist, and I'm working on an express campaign that I'm shooting tomorrow. So I basically had to like just go shopping for both. And I actually was supposed to go to Muay Thai today, but I canceled it because it conflicted without time.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of like running around. You know, I had to pick up a package for one of my friends, and the post office, like their computer shut down. So, you know, it's just New York being affected, you know, by COVID, and still kind of like, you know, running around like crazy.
Yeah, the post-COVID New York is like it seems like at some points at some points in times it is a little bit easier to navigate. But then there's like when you try to do real business, like before times type business, that's when you run into all kinds of hurdles. You're like, oh wait, y'all aren't even open today. Oh, y'all close at 7 now instead of midnight. Okay, there's a 3-week delay on that. Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting trying to pretend like the world was normal for a bit while trying to do work, but
it's extremely true.
But so we met a couple years ago when you sauntered into my bar down in Phi with a lovely young lady, and we kind of connected that day, became friends. It's and been kind of keeping up with each other's stuff for the last couple of years. I appreciate you coming in, but what have you been up to for the last 2 years? I think it's the last time that I saw you in person.
Yeah,
this is the first time we're kind of looking at each other since then. So what's life been other than, like I said, like modeling all the things, and now you're an influencer on a whole bunch of stuff too, I've seen, which has influenced me to think about being a vegan. I haven't got there yet, but
cool. Well, I can refer you to a few things, man. Yeah, it's kind of ease your way into it.
Yeah, you know, it's I was looking at, so I've had like bad joints my whole life, like real bad joints. And I was like looking at stuff, and it was like, these are the things you should avoid if you have a tendency to have inflammation in your joints. And it was like my diet to a T. Like someone printed out my diet, and I was like, oh damn. It's like, maybe I don't even have bad joints. Maybe I just eat myself into it.
Well, wouldn't it be cool if you could like maybe just add like the, you know, extra veggies that help with, you know, joints?
Yeah, that's like I said, I'm going to do a control where I add some things, and then maybe a time in which I take it all away. But I have no idea how to eat those other things because like literally my whole diet was that list. So I was like, I don't even know
Okay.
what what to do. So we're gonna have to talk
Well,
about that at some point because I know this is
yeah, I'll help you
in
out.
your
I'll help you out
field.
later on, man.
So
You can make vegetables taste really good.
I I can. I got the seasonings. Get some Cajun and Creole seasoning, some Cavenders from Arkansas. You ever had
Ooh,
that?
yeah.
It's a Greek seasoning made in my home state. You add that to anything, it's delicious. But
Okay.
but anyway, what you been up to, bub?
Yeah, the past 2 years, uh, well, I was, 28, so I just had, the anxiety of becoming 30,
Yeah,
and I just became 30, last month, and I think it was just a lot of ups and downs, and just a lot of just kind of like doubt, and like not feeling like I'm successful enough, and like I'm not doing enough, and um, I've just kind of molded myself, I guess, into who I am,
yeah,
today, which is like a little bit more patient, and also understanding that I'm not going to always have the answers, and that's okay.
yeah,
You just got to take each day, one day at a time, and be positive. And I'm very spiritual. I'm not really religious, but I pray like every morning, and I have like my own like mantra and my own ritual, which I feel actually makes me have a really positive day.
yeah. That's good. Um, you like I said, when I first met you, I knew you were doing some modeling and stuff, and you're doing some print and some other different things. But it looks like I said, over the last couple of years, things have kind of really exploded for you. I know you've done uh, what Oxford, New York Fashion Week. You did a Tanqueray shoot. You're uh, the guy at Express. Like you're the man for all
Yeah.
Express menswear, which is super cool.
Oh man.
GNC, all this stuff. Kind of walk me through like the your kind of favorite things you've done, like what it took to kind of I don't know get to that next step. If it was just a natural progression of where you were going, or if you actually kind of took some different steps to open yourself up to these opportunities.
Um, and thank you for like mentioning those names, because sometimes I think they just sit on my resume and I forget about it because I'm just so focused on like the next step and what I can do for whichever brand I'm working with at the moment.
That's why I wanted to
It's
bring you
extremely.
on because a lot of people get to see these things, but not we don't get to hear about like I said how you got there, what you're doing, but also take that time to
Yeah.
reflect back on the successes that you have had, which you are quite a successful man. Which is why I wanted you
Thank
on my
you.
show. So continue.
Thank you, man. It's extremely humbling, bro. Like for real. And when I hear the names, and I think back to like when I even first wanted to model, and I had a conversation. I had a meeting with a photographer, and he like basically looked me in my face and said that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think back to those moments and those conversations, and all the no's, and the non-replies, which are a no
Hmm.
as well. And um, I've kept pushing forward, and I found ways to navigate through everything from like websites like Model Mayhem, and even like Craigslist, Backstage, and I've just gone in for like hours, like applying to like 50 gigs a day, not getting responses for like a whole week, maybe like one or two. And when I'm on set, making the best of it, networking with people who do the same thing, who are freelancers, people who are in agencies, publicists that you meet at networking events. Just a lot of networking, a lot of like footwork, and just kind of, being set in my way as far as reaching out to people who I feel I deserve to be working with.
That's an interesting a point that you make there because it's something that I've always felt personally that if you see something that you feel like, I could do that thing. It's important that you put yourself in a position to do that thing. Like reach out, ask, be like, "Hey, I want to do this
Exactly.
thing. How do I do the thing that you're doing right now?" It's not. It's something I learned a long time ago. It's not embarrassing, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help when you recognize something you want that you see in somebody else. Like
Yeah.
I think it's the most important thing you can do is approach someone. and ask and just listen. Like, what did you do? How did you do it? Tell me, teach me. Maybe it's nothing that can
Hmm.
be taught. Maybe it's just you're naturally amazing at what you're doing. At least I'll find that out after talking to you. Like, oh, you know what? I
Exactly.
can't even do that
Yeah.
because that guy can do things I can't do. But now I know. Now I can
So
focus on
true.
something I'm better at. But
Yeah.
so you mentioned networking and how, like, I think it's safe to assume that that's probably how you've made the most contacts and the biggest gains in your career, probably.
I
Or
would
I don't want to put words
say
in your mouth, but
yes, and also it's like a combination of applying to gigs
yeah,
online, um, making sure that you have like the appropriate portfolio. So like if you have like a sports casting and they're looking for athletes to run like 2 miles, like you have to make sure that you have work that is allows you to submit to that.
yeah,
So that's a lot of work on my portfolio, shooting over and over and over again, just to have the work ready for me to even be able to submit, which is like pretty insane when you think about it because you're literally working for years just to submit something that will most likely get a no.
yeah.
But
On the hopes
once
of
you
the
get the
off chance
yes, it
that you
feels
that
amazing.
yeah, and that yes catapults you to that next
Yeah.
yes, and that next yes. But so with that networking being, a part of it, obviously we're not doing a lot of networking right now. There's not a lot of organic um, opportunities to meet people and have any sort of career furthering discussions. How have you handled that? Are you at a point in your career where maybe that's not as necessary because of the connections you've already made? How are you kind of juggling that aspect of Corona right now?
Well, yeah, I feel like it's not as necessary at this point, and not only because like I am where I am at this level, literally just because I've learned how to like maneuver through certain things, and like I've learned like which gigs to apply to and how to apply to them, and which emails to write the correct way. I've found ways to submit. I have two female models who I manage now.
Oh, that's
So I
awesome.
submitted them to a few, big gigs, and they've actually gotten two gigs so far. One for next year, and one for November. So I'm like, getting a percentage from that. I'm also working with a professional gambler who's based out of Las Vegas, and I run his social media, so I get a certain amount of money for doing that. Um, so I'm just finding like different ways to capitalize off of the things that I've had to do for myself. So
Yeah,
like I've had to manage myself as a model, so now I can do that for others, and I can get a percentage, and and it feels good doing it to people that I've known, for years who have wanted to model, and I've seen them put the work in their portfolio. So all I have to do is literally like click on their portfolio and click pictures and submit it, and use the words that I know work for casting directors and agencies and people, photographers like that want to book these models.
yeah,
Literally, it's just a representation, and they do the rest of the work. They go in there and they kill it. And the social media thing, I have to do that, nonstop. That's like a whole nother job.
yeah.
So it's easy to do that for somebody else, especially if they're paying you and trusting you, and you're coming up with ideas together of how they want their pages to look. It's like it's really fun. It keeps me creative.
So you're kind of getting to network through existing skill set, like jobs, like gig jobs that you're
Exactly.
doing, which is, I think, an extremely effective way to do it because you're actually showcasing your value while networking, and it almost always leads to something else a little bit more valuable. So
Yeah, and it feels good, you see people around you winning,
yeah,
and like you're all able to just keep succeeding and keep climbing that ladder of success. It feels real good.
yeah. There's nothing better than having your peers standing along right next to you at the same level as you move up. That's something that
So
is
true.
always an important part. Something I always try to bring in anyone that I know into whatever I'm doing, just because I like to have everyone around, anyway, but also want us to all go
Yeah,
to the
you brought
same
me into
place.
this, man.
Yeah.
I thought you forgot about me.
No, hell no. I that's why I hit you up a couple months ago about it, but I knew you were a busy man, so I had to strike early.
Thank
Uh,
you, man.
no problem. Uh, so you're from New York, right? You're from Harlem. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like? You know, kind of the dichotomy of like growing up in Harlem, then to what it's like being back now. Harlem has changed a lot in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Having not
It definitely
lived in
has.
New York, I don't have firsthand knowledge of that. And then also, I think there's been a spark that's been ignited in the last 4 months that has
Yes.
furthered that change far more than anything anyone could have saw coming. Something that a lot of us have had hope for a long time. But we're in a
Mm,
very interesting time right now, uh, in a lot of ways,
it's
and
very true.
just I just want to know kind of how how do you see it through your lens, from your like from where you are.
Um, okay, well, I'll literally start by saying that sometimes, and this is just my personal opinion,
Yeah.
even like when there are really big things that happen, like COVID, it's kind of like I call it a factory reset, where people are kind of forced to leave their bubble
Hmm.
and learn how to win in ways that actually matter. So I've seen a lot of people, who have had like really good jobs and who were really consumed and just running around and taking care of work and forgetting about being a person get like put in their ass, excuse my language. And literally they've had to revamp themselves and learn how to be a person that cares about people. I feel like Harlem went through that. Um, from growing up in Harlem, I've seen my best friend, he wasn't even white. He was Spanish, light skinned in the wrong neighborhood, beat up because he wouldn't give kids his money. I've seen a white kid, riding a bike in our neighborhood, um, jumped, bike stolen. Um, I've seen so much, just because like there were the racial divides, and there's been a lot of gentrification. I've never seen as many mixed, races in Harlem,
Yeah.
and I think that that part it feels really like beautiful for me. And to see like the marches and be involved in the marches for Black Lives Matter, and to see like tons of white people in front of me with signs, it felt like I had like allies and like I'm not alone, and it's not something that was common knowledge, but it had to be seen, and it took for something as deep as COVID for us to be at homes and out of our own bubbles and distracted by things that don't really matter, for us to understand that other people matter.
Yeah, and I think without COVID, there would have been some of these exact same events of this year could have transpired this exact same way, and we would have seen a tenth of the action that we
Yeah,
have right now because that's what I've said since the beginning. The only good thing about this so far is that it's made all of us put our entire lives into perspective, and we're no longer allowed to
it's
hide
true.
behind our job, our relationship, our faith, where we're from. None of it matters. Uh,
Yeah,
how can you be a better human being? How can you develop empathy for people that live in situations that are different than your own, across the board? Um, and we all have to face that. We have to face that there are people that don't think the way that we think, and it breaks
hmm,
our heart. But I, there's a lot of relationships that are changing in this country, um, and there's some people on the right side of it, and there's some people on the wrong side of it. And I look forward to when those divides can be dissolved. Who knows how long it will take for us to recover from this year, just on a
yeah,
like a
Whew.
social scale. Uh,
Yeah,
we're all, so much time away from each other and so much time spewing hate and vitriol across both sides. Because
Yeah,
I hate a lot of the people on the other side, and it makes me so angry. And I have to take time to like take breaths, understand,
yeah,
try to think of constructive ways to bring connection and not just point out
sure.
how stupid they are or whatever. Um, but yeah, it's kind of speaking on that. But you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah.
It's very hot in here, so I lose track of my ability to talk for too long.
Me too. I'll actually sacrifice my AC for you,
I
so it
appreciate
didn't
that.
affect the sound.
I'm doing the same thing for you, my good sir.
So I got you,
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Nah, but just to add on to what you're saying, I understand, the frustration, especially when you get something and it's just like, yo, like it's like right in front of your face. Like, how do you not, see that? I think some people just don't want to understand that there's a different world out there for other people. And some people are so happy with their existence in their own little perfect bubble. And it's a lot of denial, and some people just don't care because they haven't been through it. Um, but it's real. And, I think social media and videos and us seeing it is actually helping in the worst way.
yeah.
But like people see it and they're actually disgusted and angry, you know, from all different types of like groups. Like,
That's what's and that's what's disturbing is it took something. I think it did in reality take, you know, an officer kneeling for almost 9 minutes on the back of a obviously lifeless human being to be like, "What the fuck?" Like, in the actual fuck is going on right now because they're like, nobody can defend that. And it took
yeah,
something that
like,
ugly
but like
to
in
wake
the
people's
90s,
eyes
but
up.
like not like a cop, not to cut you off, but
No.
like not like a cop shoving a plunger up a black man's ass.
Yeah. Like,
Like, there's been so many different things, like, it's just, I literally just think that everyone got outside of their own thoughts and became people. We were forced to work together.
yeah,
Like, we
no.
were all scared. We all felt the same way about COVID. There was no racial divide.
No, and then one, and unfortunately now there is, but uh,
Yeah.
to an extent of the way this world works right now, which is sighing is the only thing I can do at this particular moment. But we'll see. So I know that you, in the time that you were not in New York City, I got here in my notes that you toured Turkey. Um, is
Oh,
it
yeah.
Did you do any other international traveling? Can you kind of tell me about that part of your life? What kind of instigated that, and what'd you learn from it?
Um, well, I've always kind of like wanted to travel, and I traveled a lot, in my teens. I did like missions projects in Ghana and Senegal and Nicaragua. And when I got out of high school, like it was like kind of, I don't know, I just felt like I wouldn't be able to do that until I got to a certain point in my life. And I met a girl who happened to be Turkish. And we like, became interested in each other
Mhm.
and we traveled together, we went to Florida. And then, she wanted me to meet her mom. So then that turned into a trip to Turkey. And in that trip to Turkey, we were there for a month, and we were able to find, photographers and photo shoots, and it turned into one of my first international modeling gigs, which was really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm always grateful to her for that experience. Um, and we're still like cool to this day. That happened when I was like 21.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was interesting. The food was great. Um, photographers really do treat you differently than like Americans do. They like very respectful, and they actually appreciate you more as a model when you come from America and you're overseas.
Just so that general cash that American model has, like CACHE, not the cash. Well, you got the
Yeah.
cash money too. So get the cash and the cash. So, was that your? Would you say that was like your favorite job that you've done, or if not, like what was
uh,
your favorite job, and like what's your favorite kind of modeling job? Uh,
I, that like took it off because I was modeling for uh, 3 years before that, and I never actually got a paid gig,
yeah,
like modeling.
you were.
Like I had like paid gigs from doing events, but not from like actually doing a photo shoot. And I got paid at first in Turkey. And then when I came back with that on my resume, Americans wanted to pay me because they're like, "Oh, you traveled overseas and you have these shoots
Yeah,
and you're
far as
able to
far as
do
they
this."
know, someone paid you to come out there and do all that. So
Yeah. And I was, paid, when I was there, but it wasn't the plan.
yeah,
um, but yeah, so that was, I guess, like what started it. And I guess like one of my favorite shoots was when I worked with Roc Nation, and we did a shoot for Duce. That was like beautiful. Um, the experience was amazing. We started off in New York. It was a 2 day shoot in New York. So we were shooting with Duce. We were at 4040 Club at Jay-Z's club.
yeah.
We did some shots at in Dykeman. We did some shots at I forgot the name of the restaurant. The restaurant in Dykeman, you remember? By the
Mm-mm.
water, La Marina.
No,
So we did some shots in La Marina, which are really nice. And then we like I think like a month later we went to LA and we did a 2 day shoot in LA. We shot like by the water on a yacht. We did a video shoot, and we shot like in a huge like mansion, like in like Beverly Hills, which was like my first time in one of them, and it was
yeah.
just incredible.
So that's your favorite shoot then, but by far, it
Uh,
sounded.
as far as experience
Yeah,
and like, I just like ran into like some of the models who I've seen, on like social medias for years, and I've looked up to them, and we became like cool, and I crashed on one of their couches. Like it was just a random fun trip,
was
you
like.
know.
I'm assuming Jay is not like overseeing the creative direction of his Douce commercials, but
Nah, not this time.
yeah.
Not this
Next one.
time.
That that would
But it
be.
was well put together, though. It's
I
definitely
can
well put
imagine
together.
you don't become a billionaire from in the manner in which Jay-Z has without knowing exactly how to do everything the perfect way. So I have no doubt
That's
in my
extremely
mind
true.
that he has got it all exactly the way it needed to be done. Let's see. What else? Like I've got a lot of questions here about modeling and stuff, and I know you're more than just a pretty face. And I'd like what other stuff have you done? Kind of, I know you've done a little bit of acting, a little bit of things. Is there anything uh, that you'd like to tell us about in that field? Is there anything that you're working on, or anything else that you have coming up that you're
Um,
kind of excited about in some other fields besides modeling?
well, I did my first skincare campaign like 2 weeks ago, so I'm really excited about that. I had a spoken role.
Oh,
I
nice.
did some like scenes where I was like using the product, on my skin, and it just felt like really, really cool and almost surreal. I actually did that on my birthday, like, and
Oh, it's
I
a couple
felt
of
like
weeks
it
ago
was like
then.
the perfect gift for me.
Yeah, another happy birthday. I told you already, but happy belated birthday.
Thank you, bro.
Turning 30. It's a good
Oh, 30-30.
30. I've got like 8 more months of my 30s, and then I'm rolling into 40.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh,
it's on my way over.
that's what's up,
Yeah.
man.
So I said,
Hopefully you'll be able to celebrate.
yeah, that's I didn't like I said I didn't get to celebrate 39 at all. So
Yeah,
technically, I guess I could just say it's 39 like
you could.
next year.
There's no real rules to it,
There
man.
are no rules if you lie.
30's the new 20, 40's the new 30.
I think 50 is the new 30. Like
Yeah.
40 is the new like 20, 28. 28's where I kind of came into my own there, so I'm gonna stick with like 28 was good. Um, so yeah, so you did I guess you can't quite mention the company that you did the work for yet.
Um, yeah, I can't mention the company, but it's a really, really big skincare line, and I'm excited
Are we
to.
gonna see it on the TV on the internet?
It's gonna be on the internet, some social media campaign.
Okay.
And the company has like a lot of followers, so I'm hoping that leads to more exposure and just future work.
Yeah.
Just got to keep the ball rolling. And I guess besides that, I'm really excited to be talking to a few people about actually traveling and setting up photo shoots for children, um, just to kind of give back. And I want to have like a team of, I'll be doing the creative directing and the casting, as far as getting photographers and retouchers and um, makeup artists and stylists, clothing designers, just to like give kids like something to do that's kind of like different.
Yeah.
Um, because I've never actually seen that growing up, where we were able to have like a full photo shoot. And you don't have to just be a model, but you can at least see if you want to be one of these other jobs which are available.
Yeah, there's so many things besides that person in the picture that you see
Yeah,
in the magazine or on TV. I like that idea, like especially if you guys like kind of workshop them through the different things that you're doing to go all the way into that photo set, photo shoot.
exactly.
Um, you never know who you're going to inspire to go into that career or help start their own agency type thing, like that you just showed them how. If you give them blueprints, kids have the best
Yeah,
imaginations to create things that we don't even think of yet, which is how we
exactly.
continue to innovate.
They could probably teach me something.
Exactly. What I know there's a lot of misconceptions about modeling, and there's a lot of difficulties that go or that are involved in that. Probably
Mhm.
more so in a different way in the male modeling field, just because it's less celebrated. Very small number of male models are well known on a ubiquitous level. Like a ton of female
Oh
models are very
yeah.
well known. What would you say are some of the kind of the biggest misconceptions about male modeling? And like what
Um,
was kind of difficult for you in this field?
I'll say one of the biggest misconceptions of male models are that you get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
There are a small select few who are even able to be able to like eat off of this career alone. Um, when you divide that by the people in the industry who stick to their morals and will not do anything for people who may book them for bigger gigs, because they allow them to do whatever they want to themselves,
Hmm.
then that is an even smaller ratio. Um, it's a predominantly it's a woman-based industry,
Yeah.
and it's run by gay people. So if you don't like women or gay people, don't do it. Um, but if you're able to adjust and you're able to um, build genuine connections with people and keep working no matter what, then it's definitely for you. And you may not see your payout. You won't see your payout as soon as you join in, just because there's so many people who do it now. Like it's like you can literally just go on Instagram and put in oh supermodel,
Yeah.
uh, model influencer, like, and
Yeah. The
you can
IG
tag
model,
like Gucci,
it,
and
it
it's like
it's out
all
there.
lies. So it's a whole different world based off of social media. The era of the Instagram model, as they call it, and it's just you literally like for me, it's really it's kind of disrespectful because I've put over 10 years into it, and I still don't call myself a supermodel. Other people do, but I'm a working model, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like one of my friends who's a chef. Like she gets frustrated when she sees people call themselves executive chefs. Because it's not the same if you don't know how to actually like go back there and do what you're telling people to do.
Yeah. Uh, no one should be calling themselves things that they aren't, but people do it all the time. But
Yeah.
with the advent of like Instagram and stuff like that, we think has that been the single biggest uh like would you say if that was like one of the big influences like kind of your growth, do you think it helps like validate you when you're doing these jobs
Hmm.
in terms of you don't see that at all? Just like follower
Nah.
numbers.
Well, the follower numbers is something that's like come throughout the years. Um, but still, like, I apply to gigs and sometimes there's no like Instagram attached. It's literally just like the work,
Yeah.
like the photos and the name. Like, if you look up the name and you see like that they worked for a few years, it's like, okay, well, and like the Instagram definitely helps, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I've like I found a way to use it and not let it like make me forget, when I would go to castings and, I would be denied and or I would get the gigs because I started before it.
Yeah.
So I think that it helps me keep that balance.
Yeah, you still have the hunger and drive to go out and get the jobs the way you used to, and you have this added
Yeah,
kind of an additional bit of support from the other amount of hard
exactly.
work you've done in growing this Instagram page. You're getting kind of double validation.
Yes. And I'm grateful for Instagram. I definitely am. I just know that, if Instagram crashed, I want to be able to still know how to apply to gigs and still know how to network with people.
Yeah, it's that's something I think that's often overlooked is people will take so much time like and devote themselves to these particular infrastructures, and if anything changes about that, it can change everything. Like
Yeah.
I used to have with my
Yeah.
clothing brand, it was around when Facebook was kind of the deal. There wasn't really much else that you were using. I had 22,000 followers of on my Facebook page at the time,
Shit, that's good.
which was really good at that particular time too. This is like 8 years ago. Um, and then Instagram came out.
Mm,
Instagram became popular. And then I just
yeah.
and then they changed the way in which people see your feed. So that the algorithm kicked up. And then now
Yep.
you have to buy ads. So then all this work I had put into building up this Facebook following that was making me a killing in the beginning was costing
Hmm.
me a ton of money just to be able to
Yeah.
talk to the same people that liked me. And then now everyone's left and gone to Instagram, and I had not put any time into Instagram at all, and then didn't for years to the point where just in the last couple of
Wow.
years, I added like 1,100 followers to my own personal Instagram here in New York just because I spent some time working on it. But it was, I'm way behind the game. Uh,
And it takes time,
it
a
does. You
lot
can't,
of time.
if you want real quality people that actually
Yeah,
add value to what you're trying to do, then you can't rush it. You can't buy it. You got to grow, network,
exactly.
and show something worthy of being liked, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, the hashtagging is very, very important. Um, I guess like finding your type of people. Um, and also I found that support groups are really good. Like there are like a bunch of groups on Instagram
Yeah.
and like they work like via like DM and every time like you have a new post, you kind of like put your post in a group and all the people in the group have to support it or they get kicked out. So that kind of helps too because you get like the organic engagement, and it's kind of like guaranteed.
Yeah. You have to tell me more about that off the air because
Yeah,
that sounds
definitely.
very interesting. Um, so did you? I have in here this note. It says to talk. It says you played sports, or you were going to play sports in college. Is that a? I don't know what. I don't know anything about it because it just says that. You tell me if that's anything you want to
Oh,
talk about.
um, well, yeah, I played basketball in junior high school a little bit, in high school a lot,
Yeah.
and my first year of college. And I dropped out of college after my first year. Um, I don't know. I wasn't happy in school, man. I felt like really restricted, and I felt like everything I was learning wasn't helping me with life. Um, and I dropped out. I started playing sports. You know, in the streets, like with friends, with kids. I was a camp counselor, which was really fun. So I played basketball with a few of my kids, and a couple of them have actually like done really well. I've like seen them on TV and um, like being recruited by like the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, so that's really cool. But like yeah, so I played basketball as one of my passions. I also did a little bit of kickboxing, never like professionally or anything, just like recreational and boxing as well. And now I'm gonna start Muay Thai, so I'm excited about that.
Let's go play some basketball at some point then, if that's one of your sports, because that's my favorite sport to play. Um,
Oh yeah, I'm down.
just anytime. We got to find an indoor, if you know an indoor court though, because my joints. Remember, I was telling you about them. They're too old to be playing on those dusty outdoor
You gotta
courts.
try this. I know this doesn't look like a commercial, but
What we got? Oh, multi collagen. See, I'm down to try things, but this is like a thing I've had my whole life. Um,
yeah. Well, this literally it gives you like the necessary protein that you need for your muscles and your joints.
and
Like
what's
I
it
actually had
called,
my
and where
mom
can I
take it.
find it? I'll let you pitch the whole thing if you want.
It's called Ancient Nutrition,
All right.
and I literally take like a scoop of it like every morning in my coffee,
Okay.
and my joints are pretty good.
And it doesn't make your toffee taste too bad. I like black coffee. I don't like anything else.
No.
So
I mean, I also like my coffee like black with like two sugars. So
oh, okay. Uh,
I guess it depends how you like your
yeah,
coffee.
I'll figure it out. Yeah, I know that definitely sounded like I teased the setup of that whole thing, but like I'm grateful to learn. What is it called? Uh, what was it called again? Ancient nutrition.
It's called Ancient Nutrition.
Oh, I got it right. And it's multi collagen. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Well,
Yes,
you
it's
got to
really
let me
really
get a,
good for you,
a
man.
couple weeks in before we go play ball, so I don't break one of
Yeah.
my shoulders or something. All right. Is there anything else that is going on in your world that you'd like the listeners to know about? I know you got a lot of fans that are probably going to want to check this out because they've only get to look at your body, not really hear you talk. So, like plug anything you'd like to plug, talk about, let us know about something in the future. Now's a good time to fill me in with all that.
um, well, I like to give a really huge shout out to my brother Kenneth, Ken Thorough at Always Thorough Magazine. We're actually doing a magazine cover and a 7-page spread.
Oh,
Um, the significant thing about this is that 10 years ago he started the magazine and he gave me an opportunity to be on the cover. I think on my 23rd birthday,
mhm.
we had like a really big celebration. There were like 150 people there. We did the magazine release with my birthday, and now he's ending the magazine, and I'm the last, cover and the last like issue. So
That's awesome.
I'm really excited about that. We've already picked the images. We've given the photographers credit, the stylists, the designers, the makeup artists, everything. So everything is kind of set up. And yeah, I'm excited for that to come out.
Yeah, that's exciting. Any, anything else? That's it.
Uh,
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
try to
I'm
squeeze every
just
bit of info
literally
out of you.
just I'm very like just in the moment, and
Yeah,
I'm just happy, to just keep living and keep learning, every day. I'm shooting tomorrow with the Express, so I picked up some clothes today.
Yeah. What
Um,
kind of campaign
and
is
I
this you're doing?
literally, yeah, it's the September campaign for social media.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some like studio shots, some shots by like the water and like Long Island and stuff with like the yachts. So that should be really cool, you know. But it's not as important to me as like just waking up and living my life the best way. And I've realized recently that that's uh through sobriety for me.
Yeah.
And I've just found like a very like peaceful outlook on life to the point where I'm actually happy and I'm not suppressing anything.
Well, I appreciate in your sobriety for still appearing on my unemployed bartender show, even though
Of
especially noting that's
course.
how we met. But I do think
Yeah.
the it's important for people that are that are sober and that are going through sobriety to know that they are supported by the people that are in the industry. And I have tons of regulars actually that are sober that just like to come and sit and have
Hmm.
a soda and lime and have something to eat and
Yeah.
shoot the shit, because going to a bar is not necessarily about getting hammered. If you're going to the right bar, it's about having those life-changing conversations 2 years ago that are going to get you on a podcast and get a international model on your show. Like those are the kind of conversations that you can have. So like I said, I really appreciate all of that. And congratulations on your sobriety, because that's,
Thank you.
you know, if it's something that's necessary, it's an important step to take. And then like, that's always,
I look at it as like I don't feel like it's necessary, but
well,
I don't understand why it would not be.
yeah, uh,
Like I don't know why I have to. And I don't like feeling controlled by anything, and
mhm.
I feel like the freest that I've felt in all of my life. You know.
You think your mind has a chance to actually think through all of the variables and possibilities, the joy and unhappiness and
Yeah.
sadness and the future and the past, when you're not
Yeah.
imbued by substances. Like I said, I have this.
Exactly.
I try to take time, like a week at a time, where I don't, you know, drink anything, and I'm always surprised at how much more fulfilled I am, like mentally and kind of spiritually and emotionally at the end of that
Yeah.
time, because you actually give your brain a chance to process all these things that you've been pushing down
So true.
every single day. So I appreciate
And
you
you're
bringing that
giving
up.
yourself a chance to clear the spirit. You know, that's why it's called wine and spirits.
Well, it's like the
And
cash
it's
you
not
build up.
saying that I won't like ever drink
Yeah,
again, but it just feels like really good now.
we know when your computers or your phone's running real slow and you can clean the cache and empty the cookies.
Yep.
That's what it kind of feels like.
From all those websites.
Yeah, like, oh damn, this has been running slow. Clear that out. It's like, this brain has been running slow. I need to take a break. All right. Let's see. We talked about a lot of stuff. Let's do. I like to do a segment on my show that everybody, all of my listeners know this. So I did. You know what? I forgot what I call it. It's the lightning round, closing time lightning round. See, it's too hot. I can't even
Okay.
remember. Closing time lightning round. On this segment of my show, you are guaranteed to
All
have
right.
people approach you on the streets because of how controversial your answer were to my questions. So, are you ready,
Oh,
sir?
uh-oh.
All
I think so.
right. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Morning person.
All right. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
All right. I have vodka or gin on here. Before
Vodka.
vodka. All right. Apple or Android? This one's important for me.
You say what?
Apple or Android? This one is very important to me.
Apple.
Oh, see, I don't know. I don't even know. And that's going to be the show. No. It's are you college or pro sports? And if so,
Pro.
all right. What's your team?
I mean, I've been enjoying LeBron, with his dynasty.
Yeah.
So
Did you watch the game last night?
I'd like to say it about the Knicks, but it's been difficult the past lifetime.
I'm not a Knicks fan, but Bobby Portis, I'm a college fan. He's from the University
Oh
of
yeah.
Arkansas, where I attended and grew up. And he was on the team this past year, so I watched a lot of that. When he had that 30-point game in the Garden and everyone went
Ooh.
nuts, I was so happy for that dude because like everyone was like, "Oh shit, Bobby Portis!" I was like, "I've been telling y'all about this guy," but I don't know if he'll be there next year.
Okay.
But all right, summer or winter, or fall or spring.
When I was younger, it was definitely the summer. Now it's the winter.
See, I've represented myself as various weights through the last 15, 20 years. I've been heavier and I've been lighter than I
Yeah,
am
you
now.
look thin, dude.
And I'm getting there. I'm working my way down. And then I got to, I'm going to hire you to personally train me to get it back up so I can book a Marvel movie or something. But you got to be like
That's what I'm here for, man.
next level to get that. Unless they're hiring like, I don't know, like janitors or something. I could probably pull that, like a Marvel janitor. Wouldn't have to lose any weight. But yeah, winter time for me has always been like, I love summer, whatever, but winter's when I can show my style and fashion. I feel like I have a personality in
Yeah.
winter. In the summer, I don't have a personality because I'm so hot all the time. Just
Exactly.
like the thinnest t-shirt and whatever shorts I can find and some flip-flops and like get the fuck out of my face.
Exactly.
But in the winter, I'm like, got a nice button up, a little cardigan, maybe with some like leather elbow patches. Who knows what I'm going to wear over that?
Yep.
Different kinds of shoes, mix it up.
So winter
nice
for the
boots.
layers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I agree. As a fashion guy, I guess I probably could have assumed that. But
yeah.
All right. What's the favorite place you've ever traveled?
I have Thai.
So Bangkok?
But both places are in Africa. So I can say Africa.
Okay. What specifically? Do you have this?
Ghana.
Okay.
And Senegal.
All right. I know you said you went there on some mission trips back a while back. Is that the places you've been able to visit recently or?
No, and I want to so bad. Like I actually want to go to Ivory Coast because that's where my birth father is from.
Okay.
But I do want to go back to Ghana, to Accra. Like I still have like friends over there from when we did the mission trips and stuff.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully you get to go back at some point whenever we're all allowed to internationally
travel. Yeah, that'd be really
travel.
dope.
So
I want to check out Cape Town too.
I'd love to get over to see any place in Africa. I'm really obsessed with nature and wildlife, and there's just a lot in Africa that I'd love to see, especially Madagascar. A lot of the East Coast has.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's just a bunch over there. If you're into nature type things, I'm actually watching as I was waiting for you, I'm watching something called Untamed Romania right now, which is about the vast.
I've seen that show.
Oh yeah, so it's that like Romania is mostly like wilderness and mountains, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I did not before I started the thing, so I'll be geeking out on that as soon as we get done with this podcast. I'm gonna let you guys know all about it next week. All right, last question, the most controversial one. Are you a top sheet guy or a comforter guy?
Am I a top sheet guy or a comforter guy?
Yeah, you have just a sheet, just a single top sheet. That's how I sleep. Or do you sleep like a weirdo with
but that
heavy
depends
comforter?
On the temperature of the room, right?
I guess this is unfair, especially in New York City, because there is such a varying degree of capabilities of cooling or heating your apartment here versus like anywhere else where it's like, oh, I got AC and it's on 68 every day. So yeah, maybe I should just forget this question altogether.
Or maybe I can answer it in a way where if you're in the projects, you have a certain type of heat.
Yeah.
So top sheet.
Yeah. I feel you there. I'm always just top sheet just because I'm always running hot anyway. When you lock me in a room as such as this one to record in, and I have this bright light beaming down on me, I would be wearing.
Yeah, top sheet for the win.
I would be doing the top sheet. So, all right. Yeah, I think what is it, about 55 minutes now. We've been discussing various things. That's about the length of an average first segment of my podcast. I think we did it. I think we we achieved podcast success.
And we touched on Untamed Romania too.
I know that's not a place I was expecting to get to go. And we can talk another 15-20 minutes about that. Like it's these little birdies, and the mama and the daddy went to go get some food, and the two kids were just sitting in the middle of this wide open marsh. I had to turn it off right
well,
then.
You know how we do, man.
Already. All right. I want to thank Mr. Fazon Gray for joining me on this episode. You are at Fazon Gray on all things, correct?
Yeah, all platforms.
All platforms. You can find him.
I don't have TikTok yet, though.
Okay, coming soon at Fazon Gray, TikTok master. Who knows? Yeah, I think about it every day, and I'm like, shit, nah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I did that. I did that for 2 years with Instagram, and then look where it got me. So maybe I should just bite the bullet and jump on. But you can catch Mr. Fazon Gray on Express coming soon this September for their new catalog. He's got a bunch of other great projects coming out in the next couple of weeks. Make sure you give him a follow. As always, make sure you follow us here at the Unemployed Bartender Podcast at the UB Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. On Apple iTunes, if you follow us on there, make sure you give us a like, rate, and review us. Download it all so you have it in queue for next week, and you always know when the next new episodes are popping out. Like I said, I want to thank Fazon Gray. We do have another gentleman from Harlem joining me as my guest bartender for this segment. I wanted to get the all Harlem Globetrotters here on the but not playing basketball. Yeah, Mr. Shane Smith at Esquire Breeze is joining me right after this. We'll get into that segment in just a bit. I want to thank you again, Fazon, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, peace. What's up, Shane? Welcome to the Unemployed Bartender Podcast.
Chilling, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, a pleasure to
Glad
have you
be
on.
here. Yeah, man. It's been a month of Sundays. I haven't seen you in forever, man.
I know. It's been since that El Silencio Mezcal event, I think in...
which one? BCB or
So when it was freezing cold, it was downstairs. I can't remember the name of the place right this second.
Oh,
this was way back.
Oh shit! Oh, sorry.
No, this is an explicit podcast.
Oh,
we actually contractually obligated to cuss every 4 to 7 sentences. So
I got you. So this shit that we went to a long time ago and shit.
Yeah.
It was freezing. They didn't have any fucking heat.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
I think I was 2 seconds shy of the 4-second rule.
Yeah, you're good. I fuck that, man. It's fine. No, I remember because I had my big ass coat on, like the whole time I was down there.
I think that, yeah.
But yeah,
a lot of people did.
Yeah, it's been a couple days since I've seen you, so it's good.
Oh yeah,
it's good to see your face again. Good to get you on the show.
Yeah, man. Likewise, to be here.
Yeah, happy to have.
Honored. I love what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it. It's it's still in its infancy, baby stage, but I've got, I think we've grown a lot as a show. This is our 9th episode, technically our 10th, because I did a batched cocktail episode where I highlighted the first 7 guest bartenders we had on last week's show. So this is technically.
Yeah, I was just looking at it on the website.
Yeah. It's
I'm trying to play catch up. It was like, oh, okay.
It's all good.
there's many more shows that I've missed.
Yeah, lots more to come. Because that's not, like I said, it's for the first time we did that batch cocktail thing. Because like when Fazon had to push our episode because he had to, model last week because that's his job. Because that's all, which is a super cool job to
Yeah,
have. He is like, I got to do like work and stuff. So we pushed it this week, and I was like, well, I want to
yeah,
come up with something, which ended up being a great idea because now every 7 episodes I'm going to batch the cocktails for all the guest bartenders and re-feature their custom cocktails that they provide. So you're going to be in at least one
nice.
more episode after this, so you got that to look forward to.
Fuck yeah.
So you're from Harlem, you're a musician, a bartender, you've been in the hospitality industry for over a decade. You started with culinary beginnings. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So you're a bartender. We know this. Tell me where you're at now. I know you'd said that you're not currently unemployed and you were worried about the validity of your appearance on this show, but I assured you that only I need to be unemployed for this podcast to keep going.
No, I'm currently I'm actually still at Harlem Food Bar.
Oh, cool.
Crazy thing. I was just walking down to 67 Orange Street, my former place of employment, and left there about a year and a half, a little while ago. And I was just going by to say what's up to Carl, the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Big up to Carl. And I walk in, he goes, "Hey Shane, so good to see you." And I'm like, in my head, he's unusually happy to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And this fool goes, "I need some ice." I said, "You bitch." So I had a few friends. I didn't know that every corner store in that neighborhood, in that vicinity, did not have ice.
That's reasonable.
So it was up to me to go get some ice because I got the plug. I'm the plug.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking down the block. I see some friends at a bar half a block away. And they're like, "Hey, Shane. Hey, what's up, guys?" Eventually, the question comes to me, "Hey, what are you doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the next 3 weeks?" Nothing. Now, I'm also, my best friend Carlos and myself, we started a to-go cocktail company called Boomerang NYC.
Oh.
Look us up at Boomerang NYC on Instagram. Get your orders in. We were just sponsored for the past 2 weeks by Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Leading into Derby Week.
Kind of tell me a little, like when you say you have cocktail, fill me in a little bit. I've seen a bunch of different types, like cocktail boxes and cocktail deliveries. Like, kind of tell me what yours is like for the people at home.
This one here, we basically do what we do at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
High-end cocktails, super fresh juices, insanely crafted syrups and tinctures, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And high quality spirits. Thanks to all the other spirits that helped us out: Hendrick's Gin, Woodford Reserve, El Bujo Mezcal, Rocky's Milk Punch, and Hella Bitter Company, and a whole bunch of others that has helped us out and sponsored some of our weeks. We take that, we blow up on Instagram and do blasts and stories and posts and so on and so forth, share it word of mouth, and people have been taking kindly to it. And if for those who are too scared to go out during COVID, we get the cocktails to your doorstep, free delivery in NYC. We do tri-state. We will, if we had a few in Florida, Atlanta, and everything else that made some orders. But that's, at first there was a special orders, and now we're just like, hey, whoever wants it can get it.
So is it, you said it's called Boomerang Cocktails because they always end up coming back to you guys?
Well, of course, we have a slew of regulars, but we actually did it. We called it Boomerang because of our thing, Boomerang as New York City bartenders.
Yeah.
It's that secret handshake from us to a specific customer that we like, and send them, if they're going to said your bar wherever you are, when you're working.
The Unemployed Bartender Podcast. It's second floor.
It's like, hey, I'm going to go see Keith. oh, all right, cool. Here, take this jar. Take this cup or whatever, and give it to Keith. And I know who's Keith. Oh, you'll know Keith,
Yeah,
and he'll know you by the time you give him that jar.
yeah,
Just tell him who it's from, where the bar is, so on and so forth. Now you got a new regular. We all have
yeah.
friends, and I get a chance to bring something to you without bringing something to you physically. Nevertheless, that's what we do, bring in high quality cocktails from our bar to your house, to your doorstep. And we also try to support, we have various guest bartenders every week,
Hmm.
every 2 weeks. And my buddy Tony, our buddy Tony, our girl Daria, our boy Ben, Robin, a slew of other guest bartenders, and they make one or two drinks, add it to the menu, and yeah, we split the pot and make sure everybody gets a chance to eat, and we all, just support each other.
That's great. I love that. We'll have to talk more about
Um,
that after this because I've got some stuff that I'm working on that I'd love to fill you in on before I tell the rest of these people about them. But
oh,
yeah,
sweet, sweet,
so
yeah, definitely, man.
um,
Um, before before we got there, uh, I saw some people. They were asking about that, and then they asked me from Harlem Food Bar. They were like, "Yeah, would you mind taking some shifts for 3 weeks?" 2 months later, I was still
yeah,
there, and next week is my last week. I'm moving on to a new project where I'm going to be running the bar program in the South Bronx, the up and coming South Bronx. It's so weird to say that
yeah.
being from Harlem and not being able to go to the South Bronx because of how dangerous it is. Now I'm looking at all these new buildings being put up in these up and coming areas, and I'm like, oh my God, gentrification at its
It's
best.
taken hold.
And I'm not bad at it. South Bronx need it.
Like I said, I've been in New York for, I guess, in March of 2021 it'll be 3 years. So I guess 2.5 years ish coming up on
Hmm.
that. So I'm not super familiar with the everything about the city dynamics before that, but I do know that South Bronx. Last time I was up there was definitely looked like a really beautiful place to spend some time. A lot of people out and about. I guess pre-COVID at least. Uh,
Right.
so it's always good to see opportunities available. You just want to make sure they don't push out the people that need those opportunities uh, and giving
Of
them to
course.
people that obviously don't. But that's always that fine
Right.
line of gentrification.
That is true.
So
But there's a lot of amazing things going down there. But when I was a kid, mm-mm,
yeah.
don't go there. Do not go over
I mean,
there.
they definitely tell you that outside of New York. They're like, "Oh, Bronx." So I'm like, well, I don't know. My Yankees are there, so I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
want to
even
go.
oh yeah, you're a Yankee
Yeah,
fan. That's right. Yes,
always.
go Yanks. That's right.
But when you started bartending, you had some culinary beginnings. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about that? How that came to be? I'm sure that's influenced the way you create cocktails. I know it for me. I'm very
Oh,
culinarily
absolutely.
influenced. It's all about okay, flavor wise, these things, and then I try to figure out cocktail wise how that works
Hmm.
later. But kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I had a baby on the way, and I wasn't making that much money. Signed to this record label, Good for You Records, with the incomparable Kenny Summit. Um, Shout out to my music manager back in the day, Garvey Clark, Garvito. Anywho, my buddy, another buddy of mine that I met in the mix of things, he was like, "Hey, I got these ends on these culinary classes. You want to like get in on this?" I was like, "I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything. Sure, why not? I'm always new. I'm always up to try new and different things, and this was a new venture for me, so I did it. And then I needed a job while I was doing that. Um, Shout out to my chef, Preston Clark. He's now at Lure Fish Bar. I actually got the pleasure to get down there pre-COVID. I see this thing like BC,
Yeah.
and it, of course,
AD
it's before Christ and everything. Now
Bef-
it's before COVID.
before COVID and then AD is after disease or after damn disease. Whenever that happens, that's when AD will happen. We starting all over at
Oh,
zero.
to see that. Exactly, we would have
You're like,
to.
you know what?
um,
Reset.
yeah, it reset. We have to. There's no normal anymore. The new normal is beginning at zero
Well, see, that's the only way
in
it
the
makes
beginning.
sense that there's only been, 2020 years. I think every 2020 years, just a reset button gets hit, and they're like, everyone forgets what happened
Yeah,
before
a
that,
COVID happens.
and then it's 0 AD again.
Right. A COVID and a Trump happens, and then we have
Like,
to start
all
all
right,
over.
uh, all the shit aligned again. Let's do it. Flush them down.
Oh my God. Um, so yeah, I'm doing these culinary classes, and then I get a job. My buddy was like, "Hey, go down to this spot, talk to this person." I wait for this person for like 2 hours. I didn't have an appointment. I got it, but
Yeah.
I was very more patient than most 21 year olds. And I stayed there, and the guy came out. He was like, "Oh, you're still here?" I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker." "Yes, sir. I'm still here. I'm still looking for a job."
Yeah.
He was like, "Give me 10 minutes." Came back 10 minutes later. I went into his office. He stopped me right after we walked in the door. He said, "Listen, don't ever sell yourself short." I was like, on the inside parts, I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Good plug right there, by the way. I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" On the outside part, I was like, "Yes, sir. Absolutely. Never sell yourself short."
Mhm.
Still back on the inside parts, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Then he says, "Hey, try on this tuxedo jacket." I was like, "I asked for a dishwasher position.
Now he's trying
You,
to get
you
married.
y'all watch, y'all watch." I was definitely not thinking that. I wasn't as witty or as hip to whatever. But he gave me that tuxedo jacket, and I was like, "Y'all wash dishes in tuxedo jackets? I'm about to get paid."
Very classy.
That's how naive I
Yeah.
was. And then he's like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "Well, sir, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I'm going to be bringing in the new year with my family." He was like, "Oh, okay. That's good. That's good." Or
Yeah.
you could be working for like $42 an hour at Cipriani Wall Street. Yeah, Cipriani and Wall Street, and you know, make some money.
Yeah.
I was like, "Family? Who the fuck
I
said
say, I didn't
family?"
remember.
That was the day. That was the day my whole life changed.
The day you forsook your family.
It's like, "Mommy, I'm not going to be at the New Year's ball drop." She was like, "Where you at?" "I'm going to be working. Bye. I'll see you. I don't know, whenever."
Yeah.
3 years later,
You didn't see him again for
yeah,
3 years. Hey, rolling in on January 2nd, 3 years later. Like, man, that was a New
she's like,
Year's Eve.
"Oh,
What a year.
you're here. You're here." I was like, "Yeah, but it's 3 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. I just wanted to come and say Happy New Year's, Mom. Bye."
Yeah. Huh.
Because I got to work tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but that's when it all began.
Once you're in, you're in
Oh, go ahead.
until you till COVID happens to push you out. It's like,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I pushed through all of the culinary. I helped out a little bit at Cipriani Wall Street. The chef, honestly, names lose me. I meet so many people. It's like I can't remember anybody's name.
I know
I'll
it's,
never forget your face
yeah,
and what you did for me. But
I have the
I'm
same
terrible with names.
problem. It's just like, oh,
Yeah,
damn. Because it's like, for me, the most important thing is remembering the face and
right,
every single thing else about you in the world, which is what I will remember. But what I will not remember ever is your name until you tell it to me twice. I only
correct,
remember the second time, and I always have to ask. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you one more time for your name just to lock it in. Because if I don't,
right.
then you'll just be another faceless or a faceful, nameless person that I love and adore and will never be able to look up again.
No, but we do remember some names that really did an intense, profound
Yeah.
thing for us. But yeah, I mean, some of those names they just lose me now. Nevertheless, yeah, went through culinary, worked at a few spots on the line, on the grill. I made it up to sous chef at one point, but while at Cipriani's, this was all still like, working at Cipriani's. I just worked a few days there.
Yeah.
I was still green, and I became uh, I was a server, and one day I thought, you can't talk to the bartenders. Those are the cool kids,
Yeah.
at the lunch in the lunchroom.
Yeah, it's scary.
And I,
It's scary.
I mean, we are, but we're not that intimidating. We're not that that
If you've
standoffish.
not done, like, if you've never been a bar back or a server or a bartender or something like that, and, like,
Hmm.
honestly, if you've not been front of house, then I can definitely see, how that is the case, especially if you haven't ever worked in
Oh no,
hospitality at
sorry.
all.
Right. Sorry, I failed to mention my first job was a server. That's what happened that New Year's
Oh,
Eve.
yeah.
Um, I was a server, and I saw this dude get knocked the fuck out on the dance floor, and I was just like, "Wow, that just happened." And for some reason, I knew I had it, and my manager, my floor captain, told me, he's like, "Good moves, kid," because what only thing I didn't like try and stop the fight or anything. I was just like, "Oh damn, that was a good hit. Oh shit, his nose is bleeding profusely. I need to go get a mop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take." So we used to have our hold on, like our napkins, some of our hidden away napkins under our jacket,
Oh, yeah.
and we would just be like, somebody might spill something. "Oh no, I dropped my wine.
Right.
Here you are, ma'am.
Magically
Here's
have
a
napkins for
napkin."
him at all times.
Right. I would usually have like two and one tucked like under the cummerbund.
So you look
When I
like
first started,
an
we had to wear
80s,
cummerbund.
1980s businesswoman then.
Exactly.
Get your
Jodie Foster and
get your
everybody
shoulder
else.
pads in, ready to go for another lovely day of work at Cipriani's.
Can can I get you another apple martinis?
Yeah, do some apple martinis and maybe some.
Another
Yeah,
Bellini. Yeah. No, but that's
yeah,
how that started. I was a server while doing the rest of my culinary training. I started working at other while doing the catering part of Cipriani's. I started working at other kitchens and everything else to fill in the gaps. I learned a lot. Then that one magical day, I went to that bartender at Cipriani's doing a thing, and I was like, "Hey, that was an apple martini, right?" He was like, "Yeah, you bartend?" I was like, "No, but I keep watching you. I will." And that's how it happened. That's
gotta stand up at the bar now.
Oh
Getting
yeah,
too hot
here
to
we
sit
go.
down.
There we go. Let me tilt this a little bit. No, I literally just got off work,
Nice,
so I'm going to
nice.
continue to sit.
Oh, you do what you got to do. I've been
Oh
sitting
man,
all day,
no,
but
yeah,
just today.
I
It's
dig it.
prep day, you know. Got to
Of
think and
course,
read and look.
recenter, focus,
Um,
zen.
yeah, and
Um,
then because I have to prepare myself for what it's like to be in this uh in my home studio office thing here because there's no air conditioning because I need to be able to record
ah,
good sound and it's completely soundproofed, so there's
oh
no
no,
air getting in this thing. It is just a stale, warm, like hot box of wonderful
one word,
acoustics.
ill.
Yeah, so I love it. It's great.
Hey, you
Don't
like it, I
mind
love it.
me
You
sweating
like it,
my
I
ass
love
off
it.
over here.
I'm just glad to not.
Whew. Okay.
Uh,
Just
yeah,
don't need no more of it.
no, I mean, after that breaking of the ice, I just started go like working anywhere I could, bartending, and I realized there was more money and more fun out front rather than in the hot ass kitchen. I didn't leave the hot ass kitchen because it was hot.
Yeah.
I left because there was more money to be made out front, and it was a better experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I started learning from various bartenders, cocktailers, event bartenders. There are differences, mixologists
Yeah.
and
Oh, for sure.
just downright good and sometimes wrong people. So
It's important to get those experiences with just
yeah,
bad bartenders, uh, bad
oh,
attitudes,
absolutely
bad people, poor workers. All of those people help shape your experience and how to be a
right,
better bartender because as soon as you realize that you have to pick up the slack for XYZ because of,
right,
whatever, You're like, every time you do that, you're like, shit, somebody's
Right,
picking up my slack now. I need to be
right.
making sure that I'm maintaining
And
my
also,
space, my thing.
at certain points, we fell down that wormhole where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do this because I was taught this, and the next you know, you get that next
Yeah,
bartender, or you go to that next bartender, and you're just watching them, and it's like, oh, he's making way more money. Hmm. Let me get my pen and
yeah.
paper. Right,
He's doing that better, and
way
it looks
easier.
easier somehow.
It's like, how do you do that? And that's when I realized, okay, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to do this, this, that, and the third. We're going to,
Mhm.
oh, what does that person do? Okay, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take this over here, and I'm going to take this over there, and I'm going to just make it into my own. And that's pretty much the gist of what I do, what I've been doing for the past 5 years. Within the 11, 12 years I've been bartending in hospitality now. Um,
Yeah.
Learned from some really, really great people: Allegra Lucier, Jan Warren, David Powell, Carl Franz, uh, Jesus, Philip Buttercavoli, uh, Kareem Mazan. I mean, I'm even stretching with Philip and Kareem to, like, learning how to really see dollars as cents, or making sense of
Mhm.
those dollars.
Or at least
Exactly.
making them make sense.
And,
Yeah.
really, you know, leading all the way up to where I'm at now, like the new project in the South Bronx. It's going to be called Masonetta. We should be opening this Saturday or Sunday. And still finalizing a. Thank you.
Well,
I'm s-
congratulations. Do do y'all have a social media presence that you
I'm
wanna plug real
I'm
quick?
pretty sure it's going to be either Masonetta or Masonetta NYC, or so,
Okay.
whatever they call in South Bronx now. Sovo. I don't know.
Oh,
We'll figure it out.
so yeah. Alright, so we'll get it on the
Yes,
we'll get
yes,
on some
yes, yes.
future posts or something. We'll make
Um,
sure we get those people
yeah, yeah.
that information
But
out to
then
them.
got some other contracting gigs, and I mean, for all that I've done recently, working at 67 Orange Street, Solomon and Cuff, Osteria Marini. I even went to Beauty and Essex, working at my friend Duke. Uh, Zach is a huge help with, like, cross training, how to see, you know, the back office and the front office, and be a dope bartender. And then seeing him
Yeah.
do his mixology and learn some of his tricks of the trade, that him and another Zach from Lion Lion, there was like brother and sister bar, or brother brother bar. Um,
Mhm.
we were all just, like, fighting a good fight to produce amazing cocktails, and it was just an amazing experience over there at my friend Duke. Um, I actually got to hit up Zach and see how he's doing.
It's always it's always great when you're working with people that are skilled
Exactly.
because you can push each other. Because as you learn techniques from each other, you perfect your own way to use
Correct.
that technique in its own style, and then you inspire them to come up with a different way, which in turn inspires you. I always look forward to working with like bartenders that are at the top of their game because there's so much education, cross education going on every time you get people of a certain
Yeah,
talent level together. Because people that get that good are constantly learning
absolutely.
and constantly teaching, and that's how you hone that double-edged sword
Hmm.
of knowledge is
Right.
both learning and teaching, and you can't
And
do one without the other,
of course, and
at least in my opinion.
that is wholeheartedly correct. Um, and this goes all the way back to Sasha Petrosky, who helped build our current, Dale DeGroff, and the countless other names that helped build this current till culture. And it's just incredible, and I just love and appreciate, and truly am humbled by the fact that I got to learn from those that inadvertently or directly worked with Sasha, Zach and Allegra and Jan, and a slew of others that I get the chance to be a part of that lineage, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a wonderful, humbling thing. And now in my mind, it's like, oh my God, it's just super insane. Some of the things I'm actually working on now, I'm actually taking that leap um, into gastro, the gastro world, where I'm going to do some extra. I'm working on some extra stuff right now,
More like
molecular
molecular
and
mixology, or
oh my God, I'm working on so much shit.
I got to do. I was a head bartender when we at that Open
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Cauldron
yeah,
pub on
yeah.
Stone Street, that Harry Potter bar. So I got to do, a bunch of cool stuff. Got to create some really cool cocktails there. But that was a really great experience learning. I have a
Oh,
chemistry background, so getting to play with molecular mixology in a bar as opposed to in a lab was rewarding and fun because it was something that people could appreciate and consume, but it was really uh, you know just a cool
I
way to
actually did not
bartend.
know
It's
this.
not the quickest way. Yeah, there's a lot you don't know about me, Shane.
on that on that one frigid cold night. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to pick your brain after
But
this
yeah,
as
no,
well, because the molecular gastronomy I'm
yeah,
trying to really get into. It's oh man, I have some sick ideas. I have some
there's
sick ideas, man.
there's a bunch of stuff you can do. So
Of course.
I'd love to hear what you're thinking. Um, let's take this opportunity for you to
Hmm.
let's have happy hour. I'd love to. That's what I call this segment, in which you tell us a drink, something that you've created that you want to share with our audience. We do like to take the opportunity to let all of our guest bartenders get tipped, so we make sure to provide your Venmo or Cash App, so everyone can tip their bartender when you
Okay.
provide this drink. Um, so,
Hmm.
what you got for us?
So I actually did this for Hendrick's gin, and it still blows my mind. And it's actually feeding into something I want to do with the molecular realm. Um, so
Yeah.
I want to kind of do this and uh, enhance it in a way. So I did this cocktail for Hendrick's gin. Um, Shout out to Eric Anderson. Um, I did I love daiquiris. So um,
Yeah.
I did this. I was just playing around with some hibiscus and rose water and orange blossom syrup. So I did one hibiscus simple syrup. I did one hibiscus rose water, and then I did one hibiscus orange. And I made the daiquiri four different ways, but with gin. The name loses me with a daiquiri
Okay.
with gin, but it was a 2 ounce gin, Hendrick's gin, if you will. Um, the first one was with 2 ounces, 3/4 ounce of uh, the hibiscus syrup. The next, same with the hibiscus rose water, hibiscus orange blossom, and then just 3/4 of an ounce of lime. But I
Hmm.
boosted it up with a few hits of Hella Cocktail Co. eucalyptus bitters, and oh my god,
Okay.
all of them
That's
had the bitters,
each
all of
one
them
of them
had the
have that.
lime, all of them had the same amount of gin. It was just a difference of the syrups. So yeah,
So we have 3 cocktails here. Okay. So
two
it's
ounce
two
spirit,
ounces of gin,
three
three
quarter
quarters
three,
of an ounce
yeah,
of the
three
respective
quarters of
simple syrup.
whatever is spirit, sweetener, and then 3/4 of lime with hits of 2 3 hits of eucalyptus bitters.
Okay. So the the thing that I like to do is let these recipes be something that our home bartenders can make for themselves. So in order to do that, you're going to have to explain the
Oh yeah,
process
of
for
course.
making these
So I
three
started I
syrups.
started simply. You're gonna want to have fresh lime juice. Not no, definitely no roses. Definitely no what's it, real lime juice. You want to get your limes,
Hmm.
actual limes, juice them, and then go get
Hmm.
hand juicer or the heavy press juicer. Sometimes with the automatic one, the automatic juicer, the fast guy, you press down on it. It can take. I was just actually showing one of my bar backs. Actually, I'm working also at the Anchor in Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut. Um, Helping out there. I was just out there for the whole weekend for Labor Day. Jesus, it was so busy. I shout out to Connecticut. You guys party way too hard. Jesus Christ. I realize I'm
Yeah,
I'm
can't
getting
imagine.
older and I'm not as young as I thought I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I thought
I
I
can't
I
do
thought
it.
I
It's
can I thought I can,
it's too
have the
much for
meetings
me.
Friday morning, work all night Friday. Saturday morning I was there bright and early, 11 a.m. Worked all the way till 2, 3. I think we walked out of there about 4 a.m. after closing and paperwork and everything. And then tried to be there at 11 a.m. Sunday morning. No, I got there. I was like, death is upon me. I'm going to go back to my house, my apartment have right now, and just go to sleep for a few hours. I'll be back, guys. So luckily, my bar back, I was training
Yeah.
him over the past few weeks. I've been helping out up there for the past month and a half now. So I've been showing him the ropes, and
Mhm.
he's tremendous talent. Ken, he's a
Yeah.
super tremendous talent. So he's going to be something to reckon with, and he's working on flips and everything. Not to digress too far. Um, so
Yeah, gotta get
juice
these
your
syrup
juice your
recipes
limes
out here.
fresh. Um, if you don't have Hendrick's gin, get a quality gin. Don't get no bullshit gin. Please get a quality gin.
No, we will require Hendrick's gin. Hendrick's gin is
It
required
actually
for this
is one of
cocktail.
them. Uh, is actually a part of the what's it called? Oh, Jesus, I forgot. But it's a part of the Hendrix repertoire now. But yes, Hendrix gin. Um, then the syrup. So what I did was a 1-to-1 ratio simple syrup, but I steeped in the water first the hibiscus sorrel flowers and just did a simple
Mhm.
hibiscus thing.
So how
So
many
for
flowers
a
for
so
a
well for a cup,
for a cup of
I did a
water?
pint, actually a quart of water,
Okay,
quart of
for a pint.
sugar, because I needed it for something we were doing for Boomerang. But then I just
I try to give everyone a cup, like
okay,
for syrups, a
okay.
cup
So
recipe, because
cup
so they
to
can
a
make it for
cup,
themselves at
I
home.
did 2/3 of a bag. So I would say, yeah, uh, a cup of water, a cup of simple syrup, sugar. Sorry, that'll be your base simple syrup. But do not put the sugar in yet. Let the water get to a boil, but take about for a cup because you want a deep red as well, borderline purple. I would say
Mhm.
half a cup to 2/3 of a cup of the hibiscus flowers because you want all of that
Mhm.
hibiscus to seep out. And I get the water to a rolling boil. Uh, Throw in the leaves, the flowers. Again, half a cup to 2/3 of a cup for about 3 to 5 minutes. And soon as you start to
Okay.
see that specific hue, I guess sort of where this shirt is. Coincidentally, I'm wearing this
Yeah,
shirt.
I
I
got
did
you.
not do this on purpose, by the
Aubergine?
way.
Oh, yeah.
And
Perfect.
that's gonna give you an indicator that. Cheers, by the way.
I'll join you in a drink, but I'll have, I did some work for Glenlivet, at the end of last
Oh
year,
yeah,
so
that's
I was
right. I
doing
saw it. I saw it
for
on
them and
your
for
Instagram.
Arbelour.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, and
yeah,
I got a
man.
little glass here. Perfect. Now I can finish it.
So roll and boil, then add the flowers. Let it steep for about 3 to 5 minutes. Um, don't let it oversteep; they'll become very tart, and you don't want that type of flavor. But even though you're adding the base of
Yeah.
the sugar, it'll take away from it, but you want that full hibiscus flavor. If you want to make a full sorrel, you can add like cinnamon,
Yeah,
so on and so forth, allspice, five spice, cloves, so on and so forth. But
yeah.
simplistically, do that. If you want to try the actual Hendrix cocktail that I submitted for them, it was the rose water that won it over with me. So I did.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna I'm gonna I'll let you tease to those 2, and we're gonna
Oh,
put those in
okay,
the bonus episodes, the recipes for
okay,
that rose water and that other thing that you got. You'll have to tune in to the YouTube
yeah,
or
yeah,
one of our bonus episodes to catch those, but
yeah. You got the
we do have the
hibiscus.
hibiscus one. Alright, so I'm about to melt to like we it's been a while. We've got a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, but I think we could do that off the air. I think we've told the people, the
Oh yeah,
good people of the Unemployed Bartender Nation, which is the new name that I've called my couple listeners that I have, the the
yeah.
UB Nation.
That's a good name. Hey,
Um
that's a T-shirt.
uh
UB Nation. That like the
UB
hashtag on the
Nation.
back or on the sleeve.
Or
Hashtag UB Nation, and it's like
yeah.
unemployed bartender nation right there on. Yo, look, I'm working on a T-shirt line myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, you got it.
Well, I can help you with that. I owned
Oh, okay, okay. We'll talk about that later.
I'm wearing it too. I owned a fairly successful,
That is
clothing
right.
company for 7 years before I
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
to New York, so we'll
We'll
talk
circle
about that
back to
some
that
other
after.
I can help you with that stuff,
Yeah.
sir. Uh, no big deal. Alright. So, let's make sure that you tip your bartender for that cocktail recipe that we
Yeah,
did at some point back there, I don't remember when. On Venmo, you can get him at SS or S Smith
that is right.
715. I was gonna say SS Myth, which I actually kinda like better.
As a,
The
a,
SS Myth.
oh yeah, I gotta add the
That should
other
be your
S.
new,
But if you
handle
saw
for
the Cash App,
everything. The SS
did
Myth.
you have the Cash App one? All right, so you got to
I
understand the
don't
Cash App. The
I
Cash
don't
App
have the
is
Cash App. No, what
SS
is it?
Money Bags.
Okay. I like it,
SS
but it's
Smith 715.
SS Myth.
Yeah. Oh, with the
You
Y.
spell it
Yeah.
YTH, the SMYTH, because you're the SS, like you're this big vessel of mystery, and you're
Oh,
the legend,
I should
and
have had that
you're the
hat.
myth, the legend, the
I
whole
have a
thing.
hat that says legend.
I'm
Yo,
trying to up your brand here.
I
That's
dig it.
free. That's
Thank you.
free. Uh, S Smith 715 on Venmo. You can follow him on IG
That's right.
at Esquire Breeze with no E. Um, that's yeah, we're gonna call that an episode because it's been an hour and 6 minutes of nonstop good times, Mr. Harlem. As I do at the end of every episode, I like to hop on service. I let you get on point and close out the show. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want, up anybody you want.
Boom.
It's your time.
Thank you,
What do you
first and
got for us?
foremost, Keith. I love you, man. Tremendous thing you're doing here with the Unemployed Bartender
Appreciate
podcast.
it.
I truly appreciate you having me. Um, thank you to all the good people that supported Boomerang NYC. Carlos and I, we've been doing this. Shout out to Carlos, Daria, Michelle, Ben, everyone a part of that crew. Shout out to Harlem Food Bar, Ernie, Scott, Jalissa, Horatio, Tim, everybody. Oh man, I work too many places already, and all of these happen when, like, after you asked me to do this. Shout out to Anchor Bar, Javin, Ken,
Yeah.
Rasik, Carl, Monica, Chef Scott, Scott Brown, Chef Tiffany. Oh Jesus, where else do I work? Shout out to Sammy with the new venture at Masonetta. Shout out to Kwame at another venture that I can't disclose at this very moment. Shout out to, oh my God, what's his name? Fuck, hold on. To be continued. What the hell is his name again? Shout out to Marquise. Marquise, another consultant gig I have actually in New Haven, Connecticut as well at Terminal 110. Shout out to Marquise over there. Thank you for having me there. Thank you to everybody who has taught me, helped me, and has been there for me. Asa Scott, Allegra Lucier, David Powell, Jam Warren, uh, Zach, the other Zach, Zach at my friend Duke, Zach at Lion. Everybody, thank you, everybody, and every goddamn person in the
So every
goddamn
single
world. And
person
thank
in
you
the
to
world,
my babies
essentially,
for
is what you're trying to say.
making me a better person every
And these
every
kiddos, yeah.
every day. Max and Sage. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
Truly
thank
appreciate
you
it,
so
man.
much for coming on, Shane.
Yeah, man.
It's
Thank you.
truly an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Um, like I said, you could follow Shane on Instagram at Esquire Breeze. You can always catch me at the UB Podcast on all platforms. If you want to follow me personally, I highly recommend it. I don't do anything. Keith A. Carter on Instagram or on Twitter at Keith Carter 1981. This has, like I said, you've been listening to the Unemployed Bartender Podcast. I will catch you guys next week, and I will see y'all at the bar.